Imagine this. In front of you lies a book written hundreds of years ago. Its pages are filled with strange symbols, written in a language no one can understand. Inside, there are drawings of unknown plants, bizarre star charts, and mysterious female figures. Some believe it holds ancient, forbidden knowledge, while others claim it's nothing more than an elaborate hoax. But one thing is certain: no one has ever been able to read this book. So, what does the Voynich Manuscript really say? In 1912, a rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich stumbled upon this enigmatic manuscript in an Italian monastery. Little did he know, he had uncovered one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. The book was written in an unknown script. It bore no resemblance to Latin, Greek, or any known language, and its illustrations were just as puzzling as the text itself. Even today, the Voynich Manuscript continues to baffle historians, linguists, and cryptographers. Despite decades of research, no one has been able to answer the ultimate question: what does this book actually say? Is it a coded message, a lost ancient language, or something we have misunderstood for centuries? One thing is for sure: the Voynich Manuscript remains one of the greatest mysteries of all time. But before we dive deeper into this enigma, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment. Now, if you're ready, let's shed some light on this dark mystery. In 1912, a rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich discovered an ancient manuscript hidden among old books in a monastery near Rome. At first glance, it didn't appear to be much different from other manuscripts. However, as he flipped through its pages, something strange caught his eye. The book was written in an unknown alphabet. No linguist recognized these characters, and it bore no resemblance to any known text. The illustrations of plants on the pages didn't match any known species. The star charts were odd, and the human figures were incomprehensible. Voynich quickly realized this was not just a mere collector's item. He had stumbled upon one of history's greatest mysteries. The physical features of the manuscript. The Voynich Manuscript consists of 240 pages, though some are missing. It contains an unknown alphabet, characters that resemble no known language, strange illustrations, plants that don't exist in the real world, star charts, and human figures, coded symbols, geometric patterns that have yet to be decoded. Whether this strange book is truly ancient was a topic of debate for many years. However, in 2009, radiocarbon dating confirmed the manuscript was written between 1444 and 1438, meaning belongs to the 15th century. The journey of the manuscript: who owned it? Before Voynich, the manuscript's owners remain a mystery. However, clues suggest it passed through the hands of some extraordinary individuals. Rudolf I's Holy Roman Emperor, 1576-1620. It is said that he bought the manuscript from an alchemist and attempted to decipher its coded text. Athanasius Kircher, a 17th century Jesuit scholar, a famous linguist known for his attempts to decode Egyptian hieroglyphs. He is believed to have studied the manuscript and tried to translate it, but was unsuccessful. The Jesuit order in Rome. It is believed the manuscript was kept in a Jesuit monastery for many years. Yet, who wrote it and why it was created remains uncertain. Was it written by a monk, an alchemist, or is it an entirely fraudulent work? The Voynich Manuscript continues to exist as one of the greatest codes in history, but solving its mystery will require more clues. The Voynich Manuscript has captivated the interest of many scientists and researchers for centuries. However, this book has turned everyone who tried to understand it into a puzzle themselves. So, just how difficult is this code? Early attempts to decipher the code in the 1600s The first scientists who attempted to uncover the manuscript's secret were met with great disappointment. Famous figures like Athanasius Kircher focused their efforts on the symbols and writings within the book. Kircher believed that the manuscript might have a connection to Egyptian hieroglyphs. However, his translations and cryptographic efforts never reached a definitive conclusion. The encryption in the manuscript's language was so complex that even Kircher's theories fell short. By the 20th century, cryptography, the art of code breaking, had become a major scientific field. Especially during World War II, Alan Turing and his team made history by cracking the Nazi Enigma code. This achievement further increased the significance of the research on the Voynich Manuscript. However, Turing's team also failed to solve the mystery of this manuscript. Even they could not overcome the complexity of the encryption in Voynich's language. At this point, organizations like the NSA and CIA began conducting secret research on decoding the manuscript during the Cold War. But, just like the previous attempts, these endeavors ended without reaching any conclusions. The book continued to present itself as an unsolvable riddle at every attempt. With the advancement of technology, computers and artificial intelligence began to play a role towards the end of the 20th century. Statistical analyses and computer-based solution techniques brought a new dimension to the research. In the early 1990s, some researchers began analyzing the letter sequences in the Voynich manuscript. Artificial intelligence was used to examine whether the language in the manuscript had characteristics of a natural language. Computers analyzed the frequency and sequence of letters, checking whether they conformed to the grammatical structure of a language. Most studies concluded that Voynich's language did not have the structure of a natural language and was a completely meaningless, encrypted script. However, this finding did not rule out the possibility that the manuscript could still be a code. Some researchers still believe that the language in the manuscript is part of a special cryptographic system. How impossible is it to break the code? So, is the code in the Voynich manuscript really too complex to be deciphered? With every new study, it seems that the secrets of the book are getting closer to being uncovered, yet the results remain uncertain. Recent analyses using artificial intelligence suggest that the manuscript's language is directly a coded text. However, some scientists propose that the symbols and patterns in the manuscript might be a form of artistic expression. All these studies continue to suggest that the mystery of the Voynich manuscript runs so deep that perhaps it might never be cracked. The Voynich manuscript not only captivates with the mystery of an unknown language, but also with its strange and enigmatic illustrations. These drawings form one of the mysteries that arise when diving deep into the text. So, what do these illustrations actually convey? Within the pages of the manuscript, there are hundreds of plant illustrations that do not appear in any known botanical records. The fact that these plants have forms that cannot be identified in any way confounds scientists. Some theories suggest that these plants could be stylized depictions of real plants. However, their inability to be compared with any existing plant species gives the impression that they originate from an entirely imaginary world. Many researchers have attempted to interpret the plants in the Voynich manuscript as symbols of medieval medical herbs or healing plants. However, these plants are often drawn in unusual shapes, making them appear as if they belong to different worlds. Some propose that these plants are actually symbolic elements of an unknown language, while others argue that they may depict alien plants or the medicinal plants of an undiscovered civilization. The manuscript also contains zodiac circles and astronomical illustrations. These drawings are filled with symbols that might relate to ancient astrological systems. The zodiac circle, with its connection to the astronomy and stars of ancient civilizations, suggests that these illustrations might carry astronomical meaning. Some researchers propose that these drawings represent ancient astronomical data, similar to the star maps of old. However, the unconventional forms of the drawings indicate that these circles may not only be symbolic, but could also represent a different celestial system. Another intriguing theory is that these illustrations may symbolize a prophecy related to time, or a cyclical understanding of evolution. The drawings might have been designed to establish a deep philosophical connection with ancient astrological beliefs and the cyclical nature of time. Another striking feature in the Voynich Manuscript is the frequent presence of strange female figures. These women are often depicted floating in large bathtubs, and at times, they are drawn connected to one another. Many speculations have arisen about what these figures could represent. Some believe that these women are symbols of fertility and abundance, while others suggest that they could be related to a spiritual journey or cosmic connection. The linking of the women's bodies may be associated with deep themes such as social bonds or interpersonal interactions. Additionally, these figures might allude to medieval symbolic religious understandings. Some research suggests that these figures carry symbolic meanings related to alchemy or chemical transformation. For instance, their depiction in bathtubs might symbolize a kind of alchemical transmutation or the process of nature's rebirth. Another fascinating aspect of the illustrations in the Voynich Manuscript is their potential connection to chemistry and alchemy. Medieval alchemists explored themes such as the transformation of natural substances and spiritual ascension. Some illustrations in the manuscript seem to symbolize chemical processes or alchemical procedures that transform matter. Particularly, the strange objects or massive laboratory devices seen in the hands of some figures suggest that they may represent experimental processes from alchemists. Some theories argue that the Voynich Manuscript is a handbook containing secret knowledge about alchemy. Alchemists of the time encoded symbols related to the transformation of elements or the search for the philosopher's stone. The figures and symbols in the manuscript may be part of a lost treasure trove of knowledge from the medieval alchemical tradition. The mysterious illustrations of the Voynich Manuscript continue to attract the attention of both scientists and readers. These drawings are not only remarkable for the fact that their meanings remain unsolved, but also for the deep symbolic meanings they may carry. Who knows, perhaps these illustrations contain the keys to the wisdom of a forgotten civilization or a hidden philosophical teaching. The Voynich Manuscript, with its unknown language and strange illustrations, is not just a code, but also a tangled web of mysteries. For centuries, researchers who have attempted to unlock its meaning have approached it with their own theories, trying to solve its riddle. Yet, none have arrived at a definitive conclusion. So, is the Voynich Manuscript a lost piece of knowledge, or is it a clever hoax? Here are some of the theories. The lost knowledge of the Middle Ages theory. Could it be encoding forgotten wisdom? Some researchers believe that the Voynich Manuscript is a repository of lost knowledge from the Middle Ages. According to this theory, the manuscript could be encoding the forgotten wisdom of ancient times. In that era, scientists and alchemists would often safeguard their secret knowledge and forbidden teachings by using codes and symbols. It is suggested that the Voynich Manuscript could be the cryptic notes of an ancient scholar recording hidden wisdom. Supporting this theory, some studies propose that the symbols in the manuscript could be tied to lost systems of knowledge from the period, like those related to medicine, botany, and astronomy. The idea is that these lost fields of study may be encoded in the manuscript symbols. However, as no concrete evidence has emerged to support this theory, it remains speculative. The secret alchemy book theory. Could it have been written by alchemists and occultists? Another popular theory is that the Voynich Manuscript is an alchemy book. During the Middle Ages, alchemists, who believed that transforming matter was not just a chemical process, but also a spiritual journey, would encode secret information using cryptic symbols. Some researchers propose that the illustrations and writings in the Voynich Manuscript could represent the hidden teachings of alchemists. Elements like plants, chemical processes, and astronomical symbols could carry secret messages about alchemical practices. Especially the references to herbal remedies, transformation of metals, and magical meanings seem to support this theory. However, since no definitive connection has been established, this theory remains open to debate. The Women's Health and Medicine Book Theory. Could it be an ancient guide to women's health, birth, and herbal remedies? The frequent depictions of women in the Voynich Manuscript have led to theories suggesting that it might be a guide to women's health and childbirth. According to this theory, the manuscript's plant remedies and astrological symbols could be part of an ancient herbal medicine book or a guide to childbirth. The connections between the female figures and symbols like birth, fertility, and healing support this hypothesis. Zodiac circles and celestial signs might also be tied to astrological studies of women's health in that era. The healing properties of the plants and the symbolic meanings of childbirth bolster the argument that the manuscript could be a guide focused on women's health. However, this theory, too, remains unconfirmed by hard evidence. A fictional language. Could an unknown artificial language have been created? One of the greatest mysteries of the Voynich Manuscript is its unknown language and writing system. Some linguists suggest that the manuscript's alphabet could belong to an unknown artificial language of the time. According to this theory, the manuscript could have been intentionally written in a fictional language. Many cryptologists have pointed out that the script is not random, but follows certain rules, although the language remains incompatible with human understanding. Some linguists note that the letter formations in the manuscript don't resemble natural languages, but they do bear the hallmarks of an artificial language. Perhaps the manuscript is the work of a consciously created, now lost language. However, this theory is highly debated and still unclear when compared to any known language examples. Could it be a fake? Could Wilfrid Voynich or someone else from the Middle Ages have created a hoax? Another popular theory suggests that the Voynich Manuscript is a hoax. Those who support this theory argue that Wilfrid Voynich could have deliberately created this manuscript to deceive others. It might have been crafted as a piece of art or a work of fiction. Some researchers believe that Voynich intentionally popularized the manuscript in the same way modern, mysterious works gain attention. This theory posits that the manuscript could have been written in a random language and its pieces displayed as part of a hoax designed to mislead the public. However, like the others, this theory remains unsupported by any conclusive evidence. Still, the possibility that it might be a fake presents an intriguing perspective that questions Voynich's motivations. The Voynich Manuscript has fascinated both scientists and enthusiasts for centuries. Various theories and speculations about whether it is a genuine treasure of knowledge or a secret hoax make us question its true nature. Whatever the truth may be, the manuscript continues to hold its place as one of the greatest mysteries in the hidden corners of human history. Today, as we take the steps toward uncovering the mystery of the Voynich Manuscript, we still face a great enigma. Despite centuries of research and speculation, the meaning of this manuscript remains unsolved. The unknown language, strange illustrations, and cryptic structures have made the Voynich Manuscript a mystery that continues to stir debates. The botanical drawings, astronomical symbols, depictions of women, and countless other peculiar details in the manuscript have pulled researchers in various directions. However, none have reached a definitive conclusion. Scientists, cryptanalysts, and linguists have spent years attempting to decipher the meaning of this mysterious script. But the secret remains unsolved, a mystery still unsolved today. The Voynich Manuscript, even with today's modern technology and artificial intelligence, continues to persist as a mystery, despite attempts like radiocarbon dating, cryptography trials, and AI-assisted analysis. A clear explanation of the manuscript's meaning has yet to be achieved. Research in the scientific community continues, and new theories, blending with older ones, keep raising more questions. What do you think really could be? But what about you? Is the Voynich Manuscript truly a cryptic representation of lost wisdom or secret science? Or is it merely a hoax? Which of the many theories put forward over the years do you think is most likely to be true? Does it hold a real secret, or is it just a forgotten fictional work from the past? Your thoughts on this matter are invaluable to us. Please share your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Your perspectives could offer us different viewpoints in our journey to uncover the meaning of this mysterious manuscript. Will the secret of the Voynich Manuscript ever be solved? Or will this mystery remain for future generations to unravel? Stay tuned to our next video as we dive deeper into another mystery. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and give us a like. Remember, you're not alone on this mysterious journey.